Here with reaction, Republican Congressman Jim Jordan, Devin Nunes, Mark Meadows, and Matt Gaetz. See these four guys right here? This is the heart of fighting within the House of Representatives. Devin Nunes was right, Jim Jordan was right, Mark Meadows was right, and Matt Gaetz is almost always right. Occasionally says things that get him in trouble, but we like him.
We do.
You know, Devin, we just played Adam Schiff. We just see Nancy Pelosi doing her thing. We see the Democrats sit on their hands, and they couldn't applaud a single thing that you would think everyone would agree on. And then I remember you were right, and you told the American people the truth when you came out with your report. Adam Schiff, we now know, knew the truth and purposely lied.
Well, a couple things, Sean. I actually tried to go up and get that speech, so Lindsey Graham would have owed me $25,000, or you, or whoever it was that promised the $25,000, but it was gone. I really didn't try to find it. Secondly, when you look at what Adam Schiff has been saying for the last 3.5 years, I'm just so happy that the United States Senate gets to deal with him. They've got to meet him and be introduced to him for the last couple weeks during the trial, and tomorrow will finally come an end to the story time. However, it's going to start back up in the House next week. You can be sure of that.
Oh, we're gonna go through more of this? Is that what you're saying? Here we go again.
I can't. How is he going to stop? He hasn't stopped for 3.5 years.
You know, and I guess, Jim Jordan, the facts, the four facts that never change, not one single time, don't matter. That was the winning argument. No. You said it again and again.
Yeah, nobody cares what Schiff says now. He can make all his comparisons, talk about Alaska, talk about whatever. He's the same guy who said that Devin Nunes wasn't accurate when he was. He's the same guy that said you can trust the FISA process. He's the same guy who said I haven't heard from the whistleblower. We're going to hear from the whistleblower at some point, and our staff hasn't met with him. So he said all kinds of false things. I think the American people quit listening a long time ago. But what they got to hear tonight from the president didn't just tell us how great our country is. He showed us how great our country is. With that little 2-year-old girl who was born at 21 weeks, wow, all the way up to the guy who was a 100-year-old Tuskegee Airman, and all the Americans in between, Rush Limbaugh, that military family. He showed us what makes America such a great place. And Adam Schiff's lies will never change that fundamental fact.
You know, Congressman Mark Meadows, I've been at this a long time, 31 years in radio, 24 years I've been blessed to be here at Fox, seen a lot of State of the Unions. I've been, since I'm a teenager, I'm addicted to politics. I don't know why. My parents used to yell at me to turn the radio off because I was listening to late night, the origins and beginning of talk radio. And I will tell you, I've never seen a more compelling case. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Here's the list. It's pretty significant.
Yeah, it's a significant accomplishment when you look at what we can celebrate. But, you know, it's interesting tonight. We saw Nancy Pelosi ripping up a speech just like Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi and others have been trying to rip apart America for the last 3 years. But Jim's exactly right. The president showed us what we're about. From the greatest generation, we had a general there now tonight, a new general from the greatest generation that showed us back then during World War II what it was like to be an American. Well, again, we got to see that from 2 years of age to 100 years of age, and in between, what is important. And we can celebrate that. And I think across the country, no one will ever doubt that this was the best State of the Union address that has been ever given in that chamber tonight.
I thought it was, and I've covered this president a lot. I've been on the road. I've done town halls with him. We've carried the speeches here, his rally speeches. I think it was the best speech he's ever given in his life tonight, by far. This was a list of accomplishments. Matt Gaetz, I am not as good a list giver as Jim Jordan. I'm trying. I'm working on it. But Biden Obama gave us 13 million more Americans on food stamps after 8 years. They gave us 8 million more in poverty. They gave us the lowest labor participation rate since the 70s, the worst recovery since the 40s, and they took on more debt than all 43 presidents before him combined. I'll put the 8 million new jobs of Donald Trump and the 8 million fewer people on food stamps up against that 8-year record any day of the week.
Well, and this wasn't just a celebration of the greatness of our country, though it was that. It was a comparison of two different worldviews. The free market, free people, America First approach that the president has put into place, really improving quality of life for people in every aspect of life, against the America Last, apologetic, big government, anti-freedom approach that Barack Obama used that would create stagnation throughout our country. When you look at the last few days, it's really been a remarkable run for the president. Historic turnout in the Iowa caucuses, nailing the State of the Union, and tomorrow Donald Trump will be acquitted in the United States Senate. I'd say that's a heck of a run.